If you've ever felt like the energy of your personal year has arrived early, you're not imagining it. In numerology, a personal year is the specific energetic theme for your year, calculated from your birth date. It reflects the lessons, opportunities, and experiences you're meant to focus on, and each year flows through a cycle of 1 to 9. If you'd like to find out which personal year you're in, there's a link below. There's a natural transition period between personal years that happens each year from September through December. Personal years flow into one another like waves, and these months act as a bridge between cycles, helping you integrate the past and prepare for the future. This period is often overlooked, yet it explains why so many people feel both the intensity of the current year and the stirrings of what's to come as well. Let's look at why you might feel next year early. Because of this transition, it's common to feel the next year's energy starting as early as October. Keeping in mind that personal years travel from 1 to 9, here's a couple of quick examples of how it can play out, depending on where you are in your 9-year cycle. Someone in a personal 8 year may notice strong themes of endings and release, which are the hallmark of a 9 year, showing up in October to December. And someone in a personal 9 year may feel hints of renewal, fresh starts, or opportunities, which are all aspects of a 1 year before the calendar turns. This overlap doesn't mean you're in the wrong year, it's simply part of the natural flow of energy. We will look at the impact of all the personal years transition further along. The higher purpose behind the shift. These overlapping energetic phases serve a higher purpose. They allow you to feel into each energy's signature and the subtle changes as they merge and then shift. The months from September to December are an energetic handover period where your soul begins preparing for what's next before the physical calendar catches up. When you understand this, you stop resisting the changes that arise late in the year. That restlessness, the mad rush of last-minute wrap-up the year vibes that can catapult its momentum and spiral you into either chaos or new sparks of inspiration and change. You recognize them as part of your natural spiritual rhythm and subtle attunement to what's to come, and that's something you remember as part of your ancestral heritage. For you have done this so many times before in other lifetimes. For others, it might come up as a kind of confusion or inconsistency that doesn't make sense. The transition months act like an energetic recalibration. As one vibration fades and another emerges, your whole entire human body and energy system, mind, emotions, and spirit begins attuning to the new frequency. Outside of any other external circumstances and cosmic energy, that's why you might feel unsettled or like you are between worlds. Instead of pushing against this in-between space, it helps to pause and consciously integrate both energies. Reflect on what the year has taught you and be open with curiosity to what the next year may bring. This conscious awareness makes your transitions smoother and helps you carry the wisdom of one cycle into the next with clarity and grace. When you align with your natural energetic timing, life begins to flow more easily. You can sense what's ready to complete and where new beginnings and energies and themes are calling. Let's now look at the flow of a personal year and how to navigate it. Each personal year runs from January to December, but the energy, as always, isn't fixed. It rather shifts as the months unfold. The transition between cycles happens most strongly in the last quarter of the year. Here's what to expect and how to work with it. So from January through to August, during these months, you're fully immersed in the new number vibration of your personal year. That's because it begins on January 1st, officially. This is when its lessons, opportunities, and challenges are the most consistent. It's a time to live the energy fully and make progress with the themes it brings. September, being the ninth month, symbolizes culmination and completion. It's the peak of the cycle, so it acts as a kind of spotlight, intensifying your current year's energy and bringing its lessons to a head. This is an ideal month to pause, reflect, and review what this cycle has been teaching you. Journaling, meditation, or simply noticing patterns can bring deep clarity. Honest assessment and reflection can be so powerful and gets you in touch with your intuition. In October, a shift begins. The vibration of your next personal year starts to seep and filter in. It's like a gentle preview of what's ahead. You might feel new ideas coming to the fore or notice themes that feel different from what has dominated the year so far. It is like changes are stirring or on the horizon. This is outside of cosmic energies, of course, which are always changing in the backdrop. October is a time to perk your ears and listen to the whispers. Pay attention to nudges and insights that hint at your next chapter. They give you a whiff of what's to come, and the more you're attuned, the more you're able to make the most of it and flow with the cycles. By November, the energies of your current and upcoming year overlap. Expect a mix of closure and preparation. It may feel confusing, but it's part of the crossing over period, so it makes sense in that way. On some level, you sense and see around you those crossroads of change, and it can feel confusing, like you're living in two energies at once, because you're wrapping up the old while preparing for the new, and you might feel pulled between these two worlds. The key here is balance and awareness, of course. Finish what still matters from your current cycle while allowing seeds of the future to start taking root. December is the true transition month, blending the winding down of your current year with the growing energy of the next. Loose ends often surface now, asking for closure. It's a total wrap-up month. At the same time, you may feel a stronger push of the new energy coming in, so tie up what needs to be completed and set intention for what's to come. Use this month to clear space both practically and energetically so you can step into January with clarity. That can be hard to do at such a busy time of the year, as we know, with all the shopping, school holidays, and Christmas season, but that is exactly why stepping back and keeping things as simple as you can and giving some time for yourself when you can really help you be mindful of this powerful period of upcoming transition. Now let's look at January. The calendar year turns, and with it, your new personal year officially activates. Now's the time to embrace the fresh vibration fully, bringing forward the lessons you've integrated while opening to the new lessons and opportunities ahead. It's a new year, new energy, and potentially a new you. Be mindful of this turnover of the tides and welcome the new energy openly and consciously with clarity, purpose, and connection. I'm going to now discuss how each personal year transitions at the end of the cycle so you can get a better understanding. So we're going to take it a step deeper to understand how each personal year has its own flavor of its own, as well as how it transitions into the next year to come. Here's a brief rundown of what you might feel as your cycle shifts toward the next one during the last quarter. We'll start with personal 1 year and move all the way to 9. So this would be a great chance now to go and check what personal year you are in by looking at that link below where I help you calculate it easily. If you're in a personal 1 year representing fresh starts and independence, by October you might already feel the tug of a 2 year, bringing lessons around patience, partnership, and balance. This slower, cooperative energy can feel like a pausing, slowing down, or phasing after the independence and drive of the 1. You might find yourself craving more balance, patience, or connection, even while still pushing ahead with new beginnings. If you're in a personal 2 year, that emphasizes relationships, sensitivity, and cooperation. By year end, you may already sense the sparkle of the 3 year arriving, encouraging you to express yourself more openly, reconnect with joy, and lean into creativity. This can bring relief after the quieter, more internal work of the 2. The gentleness of the 2 can feel overshadowed at the same time by the fiery, expansive 3 energies starting to peek through. This might bring more creativity, social opportunities, or wishing to speak up and get your message out into the world. But it can also feel like you're being pulled out of the quiet cocoon of the 2 before you're quite ready. Your fears might come up and block the path ahead. So always remember, there are the good points and the challenging ones of each number. And here I'm just giving you some basic starting points. But there's so much more. Let's look at a 3 year now, which is about freedom, expansion, fun, and self-expression. But as October arrives, you might notice the grounding pull of the 4 year, asking you to get serious, make plans, and create structure around all the ideas you've been playing with. This shift can feel like going from free-flowing creativity to needing discipline. As October approaches, you might start to feel the stabilizing pull of the 4. And that's actually me right now while I'm recording this. I'm in a personal 3 year, about to move into a 4. It's October, and I absolutely feel that 4 energy, whose get things done hardcore approach, is actually helping me get a course completed that I've been working on for months. So while the 3 invites play, expression, and joy, the 4 asks for structure and responsibility. This can show up as tension between wanting to keep things light and being nudged to get serious about practical matters. A 4 year is about building, discipline, and hard work. By the 4th quarter, though, the adventurous energy of the 5 begins knocking at your door. You might suddenly want freedom, change, or variety, even though you're still working through discipline and order. And depending on what you want and where you are at, it can feel like an existential or physical clash, or like chalk and cheese. I've definitely experienced this before also. It's a pretty crazy feeling because on one hand you want to get things done, but you're also kind of sick of the hard yarns that you've been putting your mind to, all this work you've been pumping out, and you look forward to a break, but it kind of comes in like a bit of a bomb sometimes. But that of course depends on how you're going with things and if you're moving along with the energy rather than against it. So at this time in the late 4 year with the 5 year peeking through, you might feel restless if you sense the adventurous, change-driven energy of the 5 billowing in. However, it can bring opportunities to break free of all that rigidity and invite more freedom into your life, even while finishing the practical work of the 4. But if you haven't wrapped it up, you can feel on edge, literally. You might experience creepy crawly urges and desires beginning to stir, which can feel like itchy feet or like hives are all over your body. This is because you might suddenly resent all those hard yarns and want freedom, change, variety, even though you're still working through all that discipline and order. So you can see where the quandary lies. If you're in a personal 5 year, that's the year of all that change and unpredictability and adventure. But by October, you may already feel a more stabilizing pull of the 6 year, which is asking you to slow down a bit more, nurture your family or home matters. And as 6 emphasizes service, responsibility, relationships, and creating harmony, the overlap between the years can feel like a call to balance freedom with commitment. So see how it all works? At the end of the 5-year, you're moving from change and exploration to a growing focus on home and service. A personal 6-year emphasizes family, harmony, and responsibility. Toward the year's end, the introspective 7-year energy begins filtering in, asking you to step back, reflect, and seek deeper meaning. This can feel like shifting from outward caretaking to inward spiritual growth. After the outward focus of love and duty in the 6, which also, may I say, can be depleting as well, especially for empaths, you might start to now feel a pull inward, craving solitude, study, or spiritual reflection. It's a wonderful time for introverts or those seeking greater spiritual exploration and development. As this shift into a deep introspection can feel like the world is asking you to withdraw and prepare for deeper learning. A personal 7-year is about reflection, inner growth, and spiritual seeking. By late in the year, you may sense the push of the 8-year arriving, bringing themes of power, career, and material progress. This can feel like you're being asked to re-emerge from your inner retreat and step back into the world with strength. As October arrives, you may feel the forward-driving 8 energy starting to call you outward. This can show up as opportunities for career, leadership, or finances appearing while you're still processing the inner lessons of the 7. The blend can feel like a tug between contemplation and action. If you're in an 8-year, that brings tests of strength, career shifts, financial lessons, and empowerment. But by October, the clearing themes of the 9-year begin to show up, which is all about endings, letting go, and releasing old structures. This can make the 8 feel even more intense because while you're still building and dealing with responsibility, you're also being asked to let go of what no longer fits. While the 8 is about empowerment, achievement, and material concerns, the 9 is asking for surrender, release, and compassion. This overlap can feel like a push-pull between holding power and letting go. It's common to experience sudden endings or even breakthroughs as you prepare for the next cycle. If you're in a 9-year, that is all about completion, endings, and clearing the slate. But by the end of the year, though, you may already sense the 1-year energy. So the brand new cycle starting at 1 again, which has the themes of great renewal and new beginnings. So there's a big difference between endings and beginnings, and yet at the same time, they complement each other. There's always both sides of the coin. So that crossover period often shows up as opportunities, new ideas, or even a sudden burst of motivation to start fresh, even though the old cycle isn't fully complete yet. While the 9 is about completion and closure, the 1, which starts to glimmer in, brings this refreshing sense of renewal and opportunity and even initiative. This often shows up as new ideas or opportunities arriving before you've fully wrapped up the old. It can feel disorienting, so it's a good idea to get grounded and really centered in yourself and your awareness of what's happening, but really make most of this natural bridge into the next chapter, as it's quite revolutionary because this is a big one between 9 and 1 because you're in between 2 completely new cycles, which you can analogize as a new era dawning. So it's important to end and start the year on the right note if you're a spiritual seeker and really wanting to make the most of things and understand what the heck is happening. Every personal year is a sacred chapter in your soul's evolution. You begin to sense the next year's vibration early, just like when your consciousness prepares by cleaning out your home for spring. It's your soul whispering, it's time to prepare. Something new is calling. You can feel it vibrating in the horizon. Rather than question why you feel off or restless, allow that awareness to fall upon you and guide you inward. Think to yourself, what is beginning to fade? What new feeling or desire is quietly forming? These moments of subtle, though sometimes loud, overlap and transition are sacred openings where two frequencies blend in energetic harmony. My advice is to honor this space. Slow down, reflect on what you've learned from your current year, and listen deeply to what's stirring on the horizon. You could journal what themes, emotions, or insights are surfacing. You might notice patterns in your dreams or inner nudges about changes to make. The more attuned you become, the easier it is to ride the wave rather than fight it. So when you sense the next year's energy arriving early, trust that your soul is simply keeping time with the universe. And rather than feeling like you are behind, honor the cycle and be in the mindset and alignment where you focus on being in sync. Just like seeing 1111, let this be your celestial reminder that you're always being gently guided one cycle at a time into your next level of growth and alignment. I've got shivers right now as I say that. So there's really a very strong intuitive truth in all of this. Allow your soul to really sink in this information and fill it with your own resonance of knowing. If you'd like to understand the themes of your specific personal year in more detail, including guidance on how to work with the energy instead of against it, explore my Master Your Personal Year bundle. Once you know what personal year you are in, you can get the right one for you. It includes the forecast for your year as well as so many more extra bonuses, including energy affirmations, a workbook journal, tarot card meaning, crystals and essential oils that support and activate the year, as well as color frequencies and a bonus guided meditation so that you can feel the year's frequencies and themes and visualize, tune in, and align with its specific energy vibration. So go ahead and click the link below to check it out so that you can maximize your year, whether it's this one or the one that you're moving into.